What is up, guys? It's Verns, back again with another Supercoach video. This time it is the NBL Round 14 review. And this is the game last year where the day where I won my weekly. Fortunately, I couldn't bring it back, but huge shout out to SDS Supercoach Steve, who came ahead last week and got the weekly win, which was sick to see. I did see that, saw him tracking all week, saw he finished second and was like, damn, he was so close to the chocolates, but then number one team becoming ineligible. I do know they're actually in one of my YouTube leagues, the team that originally won that week, so cheeky you. But congrats to Steve for that weekly win. That is awesome, and I know the feeling, I know how great that must have felt, so huge shout out to him. In regards to my team, we scored a 480 this week. We went up 297 places, back into the top 2,000. And it makes you think that, hey, if I actually got on that Bryce Cotton train, probably could be pushing that top 1,000 now rather than tanking backwards over 1,000 places at the time. Team value, it's coming along. Honestly, we're just very far behind. I know the Supercoach Hub consensus team last week that actually had a round rank of 55, and it's at like 3.2 million, and god, does that look so much better having like 400k to splash over players, like one sort of 50 to each of them, and it just looks way better. But yeah, we will take a look at the team. This is how we lined up. So I thought it was a pretty good team. I was pretty happy with it. We ran Cook on the bench, and as much as he got 0, I was like, far out, that sucks. But then I realized he's owned by 80% of the top 10%. And 60% of them had him on field, so it was actually kind of an advantage to have him on the bench. So that was pretty nice. Isaac White we brought in for that little bit of a splash. It was a white Christmas the week before. This week didn't quite get to that. Unfortunately, he did have a few assists where his team sort of just butchered the shots. Prather had an off 3-point shooting night. I think in game 1 he was like 1 from 6 before he hit one, like his 0 from 5 to start. And in his previous weeks he's been really money from the 3. So White was hitting him up with some dimes from the 3 wide open. He just couldn't finish them. Marshall, super frustrating one. Obviously gets a 5, and he technically didn't get a did not play in this game too, I'm pretty sure. You're going to see a 0 there. He got on for 26 seconds. If he just doesn't get played there, I probably lose maybe 5k on him, and it kind of sucks. But yeah, now we lose like an extra 10 to 13k, I'd say 10 to 15. Because he got a 0. That just really sucks. Marshall didn't work. DJ 3J came back earlier than expected. I'm going to blame Pleb on this one. I did put in the chat that I was like, hey, DJ seems pretty close, because I'm pretty sure he just did an interview at halftime, in the game a couple of weeks ago, saying he was ahead of set schedule. But Pleb was like, nah, he won't be back till after New Year. So I blame that one on you, Pleb, because I put all my dice in the Marshall basket, and it was wrong. No, I really don't care. He gives great advice, Pleb, all the time, and yeah. Saying that, he did say Trez for 75 plus. I actually believed him in this one. I thought he was going for a big week this week, and he didn't quite get there. Slow first game, which meant that his second game, he had a good one. He scored 40 Supercoach, but the slow first one made it hard. Still a really good on-field team. If we do look at the actual players, we can see that for this week, we had KD as the number 1. Frolling's very highly owned, so that was painful to not own. Tanner Groves, the consensus team, picked him up as a huge pod, and he did money for them. But yeah, we had still a lot of the high-tier players, but I think everyone had a pretty stock-standard field. I think the only exception is running Frolling on field maybe instead of a Trez. We talked about this a couple of weeks ago, where we could have gone Frolling instead of Trez and the extra 150k to get someone better than Marshall, but I was pretty hyped on Marshall, and I was pretty hyped on Trez. Apparently that was the wrong answer. Should have gone for Frolling. He's done it in back-to-back weeks, outdone Trez. And at a much cheaper price tag too, so that was a bit disappointing. We moved on PJC for Kel even before the PJC news came out. A disappointing second game from Kel, but oh well. And yeah, we got the captain right. I mean, for anyone that's missing out on Kendrick Davis, that's really why I'm gaining the ranks right now. Anyone in the top echelon of players are not missing Kendrick Davis, and you're not captaining him. Saying that, Adelaide come into a double this week. Teams we're actually looking at, so we have this double coming up next week, I'm pretty sure it is, where teams will, every team has a double basically. So I think if we look at I think it's 17 and 18 actually, but let's look at 16. No, it is 16. 16 and 17, every single team plays a double, so it's sort of the same as everyone having a single. before we go back to 18. So we're really looking at these teams that have a double on 16, sorry, a double on 15 this week, or a double on, well, we can sort of prep for 18, so we should be fine there. So it's really who has the double this week. They're going to end up with sort of 3 doubles in a row. If you have a guy on the single, it's not the end of the world. KD is just so good that I don't really want to move him, but Derek Walton Jr. is a huge shout this week. Once again, players we jump on, and if we actually just look at the break-even game, he should be right up there. Mitch McCarron, actually someone I want to target, to be fair. But he had a minus 14 break-even. He scored 50 on a single this week. I am surprised it's as high as it is. Wow, this has blown me away by how high it must be. Did I miss him? I didn't know what it was coming into this, but I assumed it was going to be really, really low. There it is. 28 on a double, which is higher than I thought it would be. But yeah, he earned 64k this week. Honestly, the guy we wanted over White, but we didn't have that extra 100k to splash on top of him. So unfortunately, we missed the Walter train. He has the double this week. Then he has the 2 doubles in a row. Great on-field option. I'd feel pretty good about having like Kel and Derek Walton Jr. on field. Run KD on the bench. That would feel pretty good. Right now, I think us personally, we're just going to have to go Cook on field, and that might seem a bit weird after his really bad score, but remember, he did score 80 the week before. It was a bad week from him, and they've got 2 games in Brizzy. One against New Zealand, who have been pretty bad. Sydney have been leaking defensively as well, so they're a good one. Sydney on a double here as well could definitely be targets for people. But then we also have the forward line, where I kind of run into a bit of trouble here, where like if we look at my bench, it's weak as hell. Like super, super weak in reality. Look at the break-even game. KD can get close to that. Harold get close to that. Really the only one I have to move. Rocco, I didn't expect him to be out for both games. I feel like there was no news on Rocco until the first game where they said he was missing it, and then all of a sudden he missed the second game too, and you're like, wait, what? What's happening? So Rocco's someone that I may have to move. Rocco and Marshall have to go. They're the 2 that sort of have to go, but the problem is the players I want are like Mitch McCarron at 80k with PJC out. He played over 26 minutes as the main point guard, scores 26 Supercoach, and I'm pretty sure historically Mitch McCarron's actually been a Supercoach like pig. Like he's been really, really good in my understanding, like historically before the Supercoach format. And with PJC out, they sort of have to rely on him. So did they bring in someone to replace him? I don't think so. But also we saw it in White's second game. His first game was good, and then his second game was also good, but they've obviously got a replacement coming in for him as well. So I'd expect him to be here this week, which would instantly affect White. So I think White might just have to go because of that. But then I need Rocco not getting zeros. But then I need Marshall not getting goddamn zeros as well. They're all such problems. I think the difference is with Rocco and like Marshall, that there's nowhere to go with them. Like I feel like, let's just trade Marshall for example. 56k on top of his head. If we just click on like players I can afford, and there's nowhere I can really go. Aldridge, that was on a double. Aldridge isn't the worst because then it means I can move Zakowski and get Aldridge down to the slot, which is going to be a lot better than Zakowski. I think Wieskamp was actually the other one that huge jump out to me. Obviously came out with a massive game, -1 break even. I don't know if he continues that, but with a -1 break even, he's basically the same price as Marshall. I think he's someone we have to take the risk on, unfortunately. So let's say we go for Wieskamp. I only just remembered Wieskamp now. I remember looking at all this last night and not remembering now. If I try and get Zakowski out, there's no answers. There's literally no answers. Even Gak, it's like, I know Magne's out, but it's not. So I actually think I end up having to hold Rocco again, which sounds awful. I think if I was going White out, as I said, I was looking at Mitch McCarron this week, I think. I think he's the best sort of play here. And it does bank 100k, which means next week, can I really do anything with Zakowski? No. This brings in, but then like my on-field, what am I running Wieskamp on field here? Like this is just so bad for the week. The other thing I could do, which would be ludicrous, is maybe trade KD, which sounds really weird. KD down to like Derek Walton Jr., but then I get like 250k to sort of splash on top of Zakowski or Marshall. and then I can actually get a decent forward, like 370k forward. Could I even get Cooks with that? Okay, so this is like me trading the bare bones guys, which we should probably do. That would be the logical thing to do. But I guess my other option is KD goes out, mental, bring in Derek Walton Jr., so much money to play with at this stage where we can go like anyone. If I wanted to go Zukowski out, I could, and I could move Trez to the bench center, and then I could bring in Froling or Groves here, which is not too bad. I could even bring in big old Taco. The other one I can look for if I go like Marshall out and I look more of a forward. Yeah, I can get Cooks in if I go like a Marshall out. Actually, can I get Cooks in even if I go Zukowski out? Because if I go Zukowski out, swing down. I can even get Cooks this way. Oh my. High break even, so definitely not making money with this play. But this team looks so much better. I mean, I say better. It sucks to lose KD. It really does. But like, I can just do so much more with the money. So much more with this money. Yeah, Groves or Froling? It's a good question. Groves has that nice low break even on a double. I'm pretty sure it's on a double. Please say it's not. If it's not on a double, this is all trolling. And talking about Groves. Oh no, he's only a single. Okay, so ignore Groves. So that's really out of like Froling and Cooks, and I could just go cheeky Cooks in here. Like, let's just complete this for a second. And the thing is, we still dealt with one of our problem children. So we dealt with a problem child. We ended up with sort of 2 premiums on our bench, like all premiums on field. It feels pretty good in that retrospect. I guess the only problem there is, yeah, if I go like a White and a Marshall, I'm dealing with 2 problem children. But at the same time, I'm bringing in guys that I don't know if they're going to really do too much. McCarron's someone you have to go now, in my opinion, just because of the way it works. He's got the double-double before PJC's back, so you can maybe get a good 50k out of him, and some good on-bench scoring. So you get some good on-bench scoring, maybe you make 50k out of him, and then that can help progress the team. We're like bringing in Derek Walton and Cooks. I don't know if they're really making any money at the end of the day, but it's much better on-field players. Wow, this is actually super tough. I think Derek Walton has to be the guy you choose because he's just so cheap for what he's been doing. Even his average is higher than what he's priced at. It sucks we couldn't get on him last week instead of White, but that would have been so nice. He went up 64k. If we had that extra 64k in our pocket because we were able to get Derek Walton over White... Wow, that would have been incredible. That would have really helped this week. Maybe actually dealt with those problem children. Oh God! But this is definitely the best time to get Mitch McCarron. It's probably the best time to get Wieskamp because that minus break even. He's coming in the Sydney and Taz though, so it's not the easiest matchups, but it's definitely the best week to get McCarron. Sorry guys, this is just so hard to choose. So hard to choose what to do. Option 1, I have to make the decision because games like start tonight. I need to know, do I have Cooks in my team or not? And the thing is, I think if I go Cooks, I'm going captain on him, am I? Or I guess actually Illawarra to Cairns. Or Illawarra double at home, actually. Oh, that's pretty hard to look past Kel at that point. I think we probably just go Keller regardless. But they do have... Brisbane aren't the strongest, in my opinion. Sydney are a mess, though. You don't know what could happen with Cook. Oliver didn't get any game time this week. They've gone to the Lepepe Cooks, and they've cut Oliver. What happens if Oliver comes back? They bring in this new guard. He starts affecting Cook because they're meant to be having a new guard come in. Oh, man. This looks so good on field. On field looks so good. Bench looks pretty good. But let's just quickly reverse it, and we will just look at the other options quickly. It has to be White out. Even if I went KD for McCarron, nah, that doesn't make sense. That doesn't make sense. I'd have so much money sitting in my bank not doing anything. What, to go back to KD next week? That's cool. But, like, nah. I'm not going to go Cook out on the double. Yeah, he's got a decent break-even, doesn't he? 94, decent break-even. But if I go him out for McCarron, what I'm going to field Cal McCarron or Cal Davis on a single? It's not impossible to field Davis on a single, but... So it sort of has to be wide out. I mean, they've got the new guard coming in. His break-even's basically what he's priced at. Good chance he goes under that. I'm just going to, bring them both up real quickly. Like, just look at how this wants to look. Mooney came out with a massive game, which is really cool for him. 12 break even. Cool. But let's just say we bring McCarron in there. I could still technically go Zukowski out and hold Marshall, but I just don't know if I want to hold Marshall. They ran such a tight group this week and basically went stuff you to all the bench players. I need to get off New Zealand, so who am I looking for? Wieskamp from Sim. Just so affordable. It's 100k in the pocket. We still have Davis and Harrell for next week. Let's just complete this. What am I going to do? Cook on field over Davis, which might not even be any better in reality. And then what? Wieskamp on field over Harrell? Like, no way, brother. There's no way that's a good play. There's a good chance Wieskamp comes out with a 10 and then I want to cry. Yeah, there's a good chance he does literally nothing. And who else can I get as a forward that can play on field for me? Oh, not Darius Day, Soz, bro. Soz. Deng's been doing better. Nah, this list is so thin. There is no one I'm looking at here and thinking, yes. This list is so thin. No. No one I want to play on field. I think I'm going to have to do it, guys. I'm going to have to do it. I am so sorry about this, KD. I have loved watching you. I have owned you through 2 singles already. And you got 60 plus in both of them. And absolute savior. Supercoach God. But you have to go. I think Marshall's more likely to move money over Zukowski. Yeah, he is. That's Zukowski on a double needs to get a 10. Where Marshall on a single needs to get 30. So we're going to go Marshall purely off that fact. My dog's chicken's ready. Yeah. Hope Zukowski plays. I don't know what's wrong. I'll have to try and keep up to date with his injury. Worst case scenario, I should be able to flex Trez just down and reverse the trade later. So we're going to go Cook in, and we were going to go this week Derek Walter Jr. in. Yeah, this just looks way better. This looks so much better for this week specifically. Yeah, worst case scenario, if I need to make a late trade, I can do an update. I can go Marshall out, and then I can't just hit Zukowski. It's going to force me to just do an update like this. That doesn't really work. No, I'll figure it out. There should be a way I can do that. There should be a way. Yeah, I think this is the team. I think we're going Kel with the C as well. I think it looks good. I mean, we have till Saturday for Brisbane, so hopefully Zukowski's good by then. I sort of have to make a decision before Adelaide play, because then I'm going to be changing, Marshall in, Harrell down. That's also on Saturday, though, so that's fine. I have until Saturday to make these decisions. Yeah, look, I've rambled a lot, guys. I appreciate all you guys that have stuck around for the video. I appreciate all those that have liked and subscribed for this consistent injections of Supercoach content directly into their YouTube feed. But till next time, guys, peace, later.